I'm gonna be talking about asking for what you want. And the thing that brought this to me, and I'm so glad it happened, is my room. I did this booking online on one of this hotel booking sites, and for some reason it had, two different types of rooms. And so for one night I was supposed to stay in this room, and then I was supposed to switch to another room. But when I read the descriptions, it was both king size beds with windows. It was just named differently. And so I was like, you know what, I'll just book it, and then when I get here I'll probably stay in the same room. Maybe it's just an online thing. And that's that. So I checked in last night, and the person at the counter, she wasn't finding the second booking, and she thought I had to change rooms, etc. I was just like, it was late last night. I just wanted to check in. I was like, okay. She says, come down around noon and we'll make sure you're settled into your new room, whatever happens. Okay, fine. So around noon, someone actually calls me, thank goodness, and says, hey, are you checking out today? I said, no, I'm changing rooms today. And the person says, okay, well, we're still cleaning a lot of rooms in the hotel, so doesn't have to be noon. Sometime in the afternoon we can change your room. I was like, okay, perfect. And so I go for brunch. Oh no, before I go for brunch, I go downstairs, of course, and then I talk to the person. I say, hey, you called me around noon, or you called me a few minutes ago because it was just after noon. And then I was saying, the room, so what is this? Why am I switching rooms? What's up? Does the other room have the same size bed, the same window? What's going on? And then he says to me, there's no window, and I'm like, we're not doing that. Or no, I was like, no. I booked, and it looked like the same descriptions. For some reason, the site was splitting rooms up, but I'm not staying in a room without window for X amount of days that I'm gonna be staying there. I was like, no. And that was me like immediately saying like, nope, no, speaking up. And that kind of triggered this whole thought process and this whole topic that I'm talking to you about today, asking for what you want, like speaking up. Life requires, or living life, I'm finding, and I've always known, but I'm being reminded, takes a level of audacity, a level of opening your mouth. That's why they say closed mouths don't get fed. I'm finding everything I do, everywhere I go, I'm learning to speak up for myself. Of course, by the time I went to brunch and I came back, he mentioned you can stay in the room, it's fine. It was our systems, etc. And I was like, yeah, of course. Thank goodness. Like I like anyway, so that was, I'm gonna get to what I like. So that was what triggered this whole thing. But I've had this happen over and over and over again. Another example I'm having is the last place I stayed in Cambodia. I love the place so much. It was this villa. They treated me so well. It was so comfortable. The cleaning was amazing. The space was okay. It was not okay. The space was perfect. When I was saying I like, what I was thinking, I like to have space wherever I am. This room, for example, has space. Like I need to be able to spread my yoga mat and like stretch. Now I know there's places that are not gonna have so much space, of course, but the reason I raised this is because at the villa I stayed for a number of nights, and then I extended it twice because I was enjoying the city and it was so peaceful, and I was like, where am I going? Just if I find somewhere that my heart jives with, I stay. I appreciate it. It's like, and so that's what I did. I extended twice. So the second time I was extended, I didn't really tell them early enough. I told them the night before. That's on me. But when I told them, they said, ooh, they have another booking, and they were thinking they want to use that room, so I'm gonna have to move to another room. And I was extending for 3 more nights the second time. And I said no. I said, can I see the room? And I need you to know that all of this is in the politest way, in the best way possible, not in a brash, aggressive way, to ask or to say what you want. So I said, hey, can I see the room that you were thinking to move me to? And I saw the room was tighter, same size bed, same concept. It was facing the other side of the building, but it was a little tighter. I would not have had as much space as I had. I would not have, the room I had a little couch. This one but it also had a fairly long table that didn't even have space for that. And I was just thinking about my yoga mat and my exercise in the morning, and I said, oh, I don't want to move. Like, is there something they can do? I really am already settled in here. I'm comfortable. Is there something they can do? And just saying that, they said, okay, they'll let me know the next morning. And the next morning they said, of course you can stay, extend your time, we'll figure something out. And this has happened over and over and over again in my relationships, in my career. The thing with asking for what you want is that on a good day, someone wakes up in the morning, say I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking about you, I'm thinking about the next person, and I say, hey, how can I make this person's life better? On a good day. But on a normal day, let's be honest, everyone's just thinking about themselves. How can I make my life better? How can I? And so if you don't express that something's off, that you would like better, that something is no longer working for you, the other person doesn't really know. How would they know? They're not thinking about you like you're thinking about you. And so speaking up is the only way, maybe not the only way, but it's one of the surefire ways to like be top of mind and to get the change that you would like to have. And I'm finding like it's really, really important to speak up, to ask, what is the disadvantage in doing that? The person says, no, that doesn't work for us. You're back where you were. Like there's no adverse effect of asking for what you want. It's you ask, you get forward, you get your change, you move forward, or you stay where you are, you're still where you are. And so I understand there's people pleasing. I understand, I mean, I don't understand, but I know, I'm aware maybe that gets in the way, or maybe trying not to inconvenience other people, but fully living requires a level of audacity, a level of, and it's just saying what you want. Maybe because I'm very, very well practiced in it. Everywhere I go, I say what I want, and sometimes I get it. And of course you're not gonna get what you want every time you ask for it. Who do you think you are? Where do you think you are? So you're not always gonna get it. That's not the point. The point is just expressing that. Sometimes a new scenario might open. Sometimes people want to help you. Generally, I'm finding, traveling the world, I'm finding that people are mostly good, mostly 98% good. That I just pulled that number out of thin air, but people are mostly good, and people, what are they gonna get out of inconveniencing you? So they'll think about it. They'll try to do whatever it takes, if they care enough to like give you what you want, if possible. I don't know if you are aware of some Instagram pages that do rejection therapy. Some of them are very, very corny, but some of them are really, really good. And what they do is they go around asking people things that they expect to be rejected for. And the crazy thing is, most times they don't get rejected, because the world is a good place, and because people are actually open and welcoming, and the universe God, the universe wants to actually give you what you want. But I want to say this though, the big part of asking for what you want is knowing what you want. It's very, very important to know what you want, define what you want. What do you want? It reminds me of, what movie is that? I'm seeing the movie, but it's not coming to me. It's a love movie with, is it Ryan? No, it's not Ryan Reynolds. The other, oh my gosh, this is horrible. I'm gonna bit myself up because I'm gonna remember later. Okay, there is a movie where he's yelling. Is it Ryan Reynolds? No, it's the other one. The guy, the Ken guy. Ken from Barbie movie. But in another, I'm gonna put it in the comments and I'm gonna be so mad. Anyway, when he's yelling at her, what do you want? You need to define what you want and let that be what you want. Not what everyone is wanting you to want. Or not what society tells you to want. So anyway, that's the first part. The first part about asking for what you want is actually knowing what you want. So I encourage you to think about all that. Think about what do you want out of life, out of almost every experience. There is always reality versus expectations, of course. And again, you're not gonna get everything that you ask for, of course not. Who do you think you are? But ask for what you want. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm thinking about one more situation, one meal I had in Bali, in one of my favorite cafes there in Bali, and I went back to the cafe because I loved it. Of course, she remembered my matcha order, she remembers my order, and I kind of wanted the same order, so I asked for it. But the first time I had it, it was pancakes. No, it was like crepes, more crepes than pancakes. Anyway, it came with maple syrup. I'm Canadian and I know good maple syrup. The maple syrup was too sweet. It was not as good. So I wanted more of the strawberry compote that it comes with. And I was like, hey, can we switch out the maple syrup for more strawberry compote? And she was like, of course. And they gave me that compote and the meal was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah, how could I have experienced that if I didn't ask? How do you know? Don't put yourself out of the game. Don't assume the other person can't help you, or don't assume you wouldn't get it. Just ask. And if it's a no, you're back where you started. And so, in the vein of asking for what you want, I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel. If you are enjoying this kind of content, if you're enjoying my musings and my reminders, subscribe to my channel, support me, or join this community. It's really interesting. I think it'll be really, really cool if I could build a small community, people who are interested in hearing what I have to say, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would like me to muse about or talk about. And yeah, if you also like this video, I'm asking that you give it a thumbs up. Press the thumbs up button as well. That's it for today. I need to go, I need to get a little bit of glam on. It's already the middle of the day, and then I need to go see the city. Finally go start seeing the city. But okay, that's all I've got. I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.